February 4th, 2020 City Council meeting. Please let the record reflect that all council members are present. And we'll start with Vice Chair Blair and the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you. Will the audience please rise?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Now we have a recognition for the Ogden High School Marching Band. We have Councilmember Lopez who would like to read that.
Yes, I appreciate the opportunity to read this recognition. The Ogden City Council and Mayor proudly recognize the Ogden High School Marching Band for providing invaluable contribution to the Ogden community. The Ogden High School Marching Band had a season to remember. Under the direction of band director Stan Renda, they made history winning first place in the 4A Scholastic Division at the Utah Red Rocks State Marching Band Championship. Their first top three finish since 2011. The Tigers Marching Band also received Caption Award for outstanding percussion, outstanding color guard, and outstanding visual performance. To recognize their state championship, the Tiger Marching Band performed on Fox 13's Good Day Utah. 3 band members were also selected to participate in the All-State Band and Orchestra at Ravenel Hall in downtown Salt Lake City. We are proud of the manner in which these students have represented our city, their work ethic, talent, and exceptional results have unified our residents and strengthened the sense of community pride in Ogden. And this is presented this 4th day of February 2020. Thank you.
Thank you. We have Stan Redna here to accept this plaque. Please come forward.
Bring them all.
Okay, we're going to have everybody come up and shake all of our hands so they can start in a line over here.
Let's go clockwise.
Start a line over here. You can do a high five if you want.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Janine.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks so much. That's awesome. Congratulations. And then, everybody else take a picture. I don't know, that was mentioned.
Thank you.
Okay, perfect.
So what is the play?
Thanks so much. Congratulations. Yep.
Congratulations.
Both?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Congratulations.
Long line. Thank you.
How are you?
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Hey, band folks. We're going to take a picture right here afterwards.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Get two things at the same thing.
All right, good job.
Thank you. Oh, members. I see it.
Great.
That is
Is everybody in the picture up here? Right over here. Over there.
Gracias.
All in the back, short in the front. Where's Kyle?
Big right over there.
¿Habla español? Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Thanks for coming.
Oh,
Congratulations. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Hey, thank you. Thank you.
You guys are in the politics.
Thank you for coming. Appreciate it.
Kids all
Congratulations. 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 Good job, guys. Yeah, good job. Good job.
Ben and I will be seeing.
Be ready for it. Best in hut. All right.
Whatever that was.
I think we should,
I don't know. I might have to do like a panorama.
yeah, exactly.
There you go. Make sure you go. Sorry.
Congratulations.
Let's stand up from there if you want. It's bulletproof. It should
This game sounds too short.
We need to get closer to each other. Just a picture. Dude. Just a big O.
No, just kidding. I don't want to have your airplane pop up. Seriously. See him.
Okay, everybody get their picture.
All right.
Okay.
Is this the loudest it's ever been here?
Yeah, that was.
Do you want to hear from
Yeah, no.
Mr.
I'm gonna try to find it.
Unless I bring a mariachi band here.
Excuse. Hello.
They should have brought their instrument.
Maybe it's a Mr. Renda, would you like to make a statement at the podium?
yeah, I'll take it.
All right. Maybe if everybody could take a seat or move back to the back, you have to.
And you can move back.
If you could go to the mic in the front, then the public will be able to see you from the
Just on the
online.
other side. Just on the other side.
On the other side, yeah. Sorry, we're very bossy. Right there.
Oh,
Thank
wow.
you.
I feel important. I'll wait for them to have a seat. All right. First off, I'd like to thank you guys for inviting us out. It's definitely an honor to have our award-winning Ogden High Marching Band recognized by the city. When I took over the job 3 years ago, I knew I wanted to be here. My wife had been working as an English teacher over at Ben Lomond High School, and I've been hearing about Ogden High and their marching band and the rich history that Ogden just had in general. And when I was working in Provo 4 years ago, I loved my job, but I was like, I want to be working here at Ogden.
Yeah.
And I may be 2,000 miles away from home where I was born and bred in Alabama, but it's definitely home here in Ogden. It always felt like the right place. The year before I took over, we had about 23 members in the marching band, and I knew that I wanted to build it back up to the size that beyond just size, but just the quality that I felt like Ogden needed to have, because I knew they had hard workers and they had kids that really wanted to be a part of it. I didn't think it was only going to take 3 years to get where we're at. My seniors, will you stand up over here for me? Let's give them a round of applause. You can have a seat again. You can have a seat, y'all. My seniors that participated in marching band in 9th grade, they were a 1A band. That was back when they still did bands by band sizes, and had 23 members, and they placed last in the state. Beyond just placements alone, I wanted them to have a good time while working hard. And I wanted them to trust me coming on, that I'd work hard for them as long as they worked hard for each other. Beyond me, I'm just the old guy up at the front yelling at them to tell them to try to do everything right. And they go from being last place in the state, and in 3 short years, by their senior year, they get to be the state champion in 4A Scholastic, which is just absolutely incredible. The fact that they stuck with it and were the absolute best leaders I could possibly ever imagine makes me a very lucky man and a lucky band director. It's been an absolute pleasure being their band director, and I'm going to be here for as long as my career allows it to be, and this is just my home. It wouldn't be possible without the community support. Ogden is a very unique community, and they're very tight-knit. They come from very different backgrounds, cultures, socioeconomic levels, but in music and in band, it gives them an outlet to all come together for one common goal. And it truly proved, not only this year, but all the other years beyond that. And I'd also like to thank my staff, and of course my beautiful wife over here has just been fantastic. So to all you guys over there, I love each and every one of you. Thank you for working hard, and it's only going to get better and better from here. Thank you guys for recognizing me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead. We'll give you some time to. Thank you all for coming so much.
They don't want to review minutes with us? Or?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm so sad when they leave.
I know.
But there's a reason. Like, does she have to shake all her hands? It's not her cup of tea. She just feels soapy.
Sorry.
Nice job, Jenny. Do you want mine?
It's a short podcast. Do you need?
I don't think there's enough
Yeah.
on the dice. And we all are like,
That's funny.
Yeah.
None of us will be able to open the door.
Yeah.
that's great.
It'd be too slippery.
You never know. Well, you do know.
They're not as grubby as the.
Okay, let's move on to the approval of minutes. The regular meeting of September 24th, 2019. Councilmember Lopez.
Yes, Chair Chawarka, they're correct.
And joint work session of October 1st, 2019. Councilmember Hire.
Yes, Chair, I reviewed those and found them to be accurate.
Would you like to make a motion?
Oh, yes, I will make a motion that we approve the minutes.
Second.
Got a motion by Councilmember Hire, a second by Vice Chair Blair to approve the minutes. This is a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Great, that passes. Now on the common consent, we have the Christmas Village Committee. That's we don't need to do it.
Chair, I will make a motion that we approve the common consent agenda, which is just one item.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Hire, second by Councilmember Lopez to approve the appointment to Christmas Village Committee on the common consent. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that passes. Thank you. So now we have the public hearing, a presentation by Lisa Stout, the Ogden City Comptroller, about the fiscal year 2020 budget amendment, water infrastructure and refuse truck replacement.
Chair, Lisa is ill, and so Brandy has volunteered to make the presentation.
Thank you, Brandy. Thank you so much, Brandy, for volunteering. We really hope Lisa gets better fast.
Good team spirit you got there, Brandon.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right, Chair Choburka, Vice Chair Blair, and council members. On behalf of administration, I'm happy to present the proposed fiscal year 2020 budget amendment, resulting in a net increase of city budget revenues by $5,636,250, of which $4 million is for water infrastructure improvements and $1,636,250 for the purchase of 5 CNG refuse trucks. Back in January in the council work session, this presentation was shared, and we'll just go through this briefly on the sources and uses. So for the water utility fund, the city has an ongoing infrastructure improvement program for the water utility, and this is funded through user fees. Many of these projects are taken from the water master plan. The water fund currently has nearly $16.5 million in unrestricted net position, and we are recommending the appropriation of $4 million in fund balance for the appropriation to the capital program. The city is currently updating the water sustainability plan with Lewis Young, and the appropriation of the $4 million is in alignment with that utility sustainability. So as for the sources and uses, $4 million from fund balance. And then we have the uses for the Pierce water line connections, Buchanan water line upgrade, which is part of the water master plan, 20th Street water line, pressure reducing valve replacement, and BRT route infrastructure design money. As for the refuse utility fund, currently we have 10 CNG refuse trucks that were purchased clear back in 2014 under a capital lease. This has since been paid off. And we are recommending the replacement of 5 trucks in fiscal year 20 and 5 trucks in fiscal year 21. They are CNG fuel trucks, and each truck will cost a total of $327,250 for a total of $1.6 million roughly. And the refuse fund unrestricted net position is $6.6 million. And then here are the sources and uses again. So the use of retained earnings for the capital and $1,636,250. And so we are asking for your consideration to adopt the ordinance amending the budget for fiscal year 2020, resulting in a net increase in revenues of $5,636,250.
Thank you, Brandy.
Thank you.
Anybody have any questions? And it's a public hearing, so we can take any comments from the public on this particular item. Please only take your 3 minutes.
Seeing no movement, I will make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
A motion by Councilmember Heyer, a second by Vice Chair Blair to close the public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Chair, I do have a quick comment that I would be remiss if I didn't make sure that I got in. But I hope as technology changes, and I know there are reasons why we are not looking at electric vehicles, but as technology changes, I hope that we're still open to those possibilities. So thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
Ready
Anybody like
for
to make a motion? Yeah.
I make a motion then that we adopt proposed ordinance 2020-3.
I second it.
So we have a motion by Councilmember Heyer, second by Councilmember Stevens for the proposed ordinance 2020-3. It's a roll call vote.
Councilmember Nadolski?
Aye.
Councilmember Heyer?
Aye.
Councilmember Lopez?
Aye.
Councilmember Stevens?
Aye.
Councilmember White?
Aye.
Vice Chair Blair?
Aye.
Chair Chaburka?
Aye. So that passes. Thank you. So now we'll have a report from the Planning Commission, a public hearing around rezoning of 133 West Binford Street, and Greg Montgomery, Planning Manager, will present for us.
Okay. Madam Chair, members of the council, this request is actually city initiated by the RDA, And the request is to look at rezoning property that's presently zoned M2 and rezone it to CBD. The property, as you can see, is located west of Wall Avenue and takes in the old St. Anne's Center. Also, there's some vacant land, some land owned by Union Pacific, but it's all between the track and Wall Avenue. And as you look at where the old warehouse used to be, this makes a good block of development potential of allowing the CBD to expand to take full extent of the properties that are there. This is a 4.5 acre rezoning request. And when you look at that property, as far as the ownership, Ogden City owning 26%, the railroad owning 49%, 6 property owners own 23%, but the actual development that exists on those 4.5 acres there are 2 homes and 1 commercial building. The rest is all vacant land. And so you can see the majority of it is potential development. And the M2 zoning, which allows salvage yards and those other types of things, are not the thing you want as a border to your downtown area. And that is one of the key drivers of rezoning it to the CBD. Also part of why we see where this area can go in the future was the plan that the USU Landscape Architecture Department did in 2018 that showed the potential of what can take place west of Wall Avenue, where most people have written Wall Avenue off of, nothing's really going to happen there. This forward thinking allows us to look at this is a growth area that the city has. And that as we look to meet our future needs, development of this under a designed criteria that is a benefit to all in terms of the availability of housing, of workspace, of employment. Rezoning this to CBD would make sense now while it's undeveloped rather than look at developments taking place and maybe out of character and then trying to make a change later on. It's better to have this vacant ground and to rezone it to the commercial. The 2 homes that exist there are non-conforming as they are now under the M2 zone, and so they'd still be non-conforming in the CBD as their single-family homes. But it allows, again, the potential for development to take place. And you can see the area in question on that designed by USU, and the area outlined in red is the area of consideration. As the Planning Commission looked at this, they, of course, used the general plan policies of creating edges and entrances and gateways and the character of the area. And the fact that this is staying within the boundaries defined by the streets in the back portion of the city property on 26th and Wall. To include all that into that CBD, this makes a contiguous piece of property that would allow development to take place in the future under the designs and densities that would be appropriate for a downtown area. Also, when we looked at the CBD general plan, we talked about this area as potential areas for housing, for workforce, employment, and again, this would be consistent with that general plan also. So the recommendation of the Planning Commission is a 7-0 to approve rezoning this to CBD.
Any questions?
What about the commercial property? Does it affect their status with this zone?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
Didn't get any input from those homes that we didn't. I think there's been some discussion of RDA in terms of looking at acquisitions. So that's the goal.
I know that's the intent. I just but they haven't yet, and I just didn't know if the property owners had any input yet.
We hadn't received any concerns from those people.
You anticipated every question I had, so.
Yeah, so.
I was going to ask a similar question, Councilmember Heyer. So, since there's only 2 or a few properties there, was there an effort to go talk to any of those people, or we just send them the flyer? And
Well, as far as the planning part, no, is the flyer, but I know that the RDA has had discussions with
with those owners.
And does it impact, what about the railroad?
Doesn't.
Any other questions? And would the petitioner like to make any comment?
Is Brandon back
He
there?
was here earlier. I don't think I can't see behind the pole where he likes to hide. Great. Okay, so this is a public hearing. If anyone would like to address the council, you can speak for 3 minutes on this topic alone.
Just public input.
Oh, public input, I'm sorry. Sorry, I didn't read that part.
It's okay. Here to help.
I need to read.
You can call for a motion.
I think
I think, does he want to speak during public comment or during this particular item? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, please
yo le
come
puedo ayudar a
forward.
traducir si ocupan. Claro. Sí,
Yeah, please,
I'll
yeah.
help translate.
Oh, if you don't mind,
Yeah,
I
no, I
really
don't mind.
appreciate that.
Pasa. Sí.
Please, just state your name for the record.
Does he have 3 minutes?
Yeah.
Tiene 3 minutos para hablar.
Sí.
Ok.
Bueno, antes que nada, buenas tardes.
Good afternoon.
Good evening.
Mi nombre es Efraín Cardona.
My name is Efraín Cardona.
Yo vine porque me llegó una carta
Came because I received a letter
sobre la propiedad de 2665
about the
Wall Avenue.
property on 2665
Wall.
2665 Wall Avenue.
Y mi pregunta es porque tuve una propuesta antes de que iban a comprar la propiedad.
And I had an offer before the property was going to be purchased.
From the city?
Por parte de la ciudad?
Sí, Brandon Cooper habló conmigo.
Brandon Cooper was talking with me.
Y ahora quitaron los parqueaderos, removieron la misión.
And so now the parking lot has been pulled out or removed, and the old St. Anne's building has been torn down also.
Y mi pregunta es, ¿qué va a pasar con mi propiedad? ¿Si la van a comprar o...?
So my question is, what's going to happen with my property if it's going to be purchased, acquired, or what?
Good question. Is that all of your questions? We can
¿Tienes
get a
alguna otra
response?
pregunta?
Or-
Efraín, ¿tienes alguna otra pregunta?
O sea, nada más saber qué es lo que...
Sí, ok. Si gustas, puedes tomar asiento y vamos a pasar la pregunta a una persona aquí ahorita.
Ok, gracias.
Muchas gracias. Muchas gracias.
Gracias.
Sí.
Want to make a comment?
I don't know for sure if the property is going to be purchased, but I think
Is that okay if I translate
Yes.
also? Okay, go ahead.
if you can make it sound better than when I say
Yeah.
it, that's great.
Dice que no está muy... go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm not sure the timing, but I think there's still interest in the city purchasing it, but the details, I don't think any of us here tonight know.
Dice que no está muy seguro los detalles, piensa que todavía hay interés por parte de la ciudad para comprar la propiedad, pero que no conoce los detalles, los últimos detalles ahorita no los tiene él.
I'm not sure that we know the timing either. I think the time we have a while before we would need the property. St. Anne's just presented itself because they were wanting to sell the building, so that's why we purchased it.
Y también en cuando vaya a pasar, si la ciudad decide comprarla, dice que tampoco están 100% seguros. Dice que el edificio de St. Anne's lo compraron porque las personas de ahí vinieron a hablar con la ciudad y demostraron mucho interés y se dio la compra más así.
Do you think we could get their contact information?
He probably ought to just keep talking to Brandon.
Brandon, I wonder if he has Brandon's contact
He does.
information.
Sí tiene Efraín el contacto de Brandon, ¿verdad?
Sí, pero le he tratado de llamar 100 veces y...
He's saying that he's tried to call many times and he hasn't been able to.
We'll pass the word on to get him out there.
Okay. He will reach out. Okay. Dice que le van a decir que ha estado tratando de hablar con él y que se van a asegurar de que lo busque.
I guess my follow-up question is, how will this change in the zoning impact their property value? I mean, if you can predict the future.
As far as those individual properties, the property value itself, based on is it a permitted use or not, will not change under that premise. Now, the question would be that's always out there is now that the properties are becoming vacant and potential development, will that have any impact on the value in the future? But as far as tax purposes, it won't make a change to that until development happens in that area.
Thank you.
Le preguntó que si ella sabía si su propiedad se iba a ver afectada por los cambios que van a hacer ahí, y él dijo que ahorita no sabe, que después de que se llevara a cabo el desarrollo, ahí es a lo mejor donde se podría ver si hubiera algún cambio positivo o negativo, pero que ahorita es difícil decirlo.
Okay, any other public input?
Just one other comment, Luis. Tell him I'm actually telling Brandon in a text right now to talk to him tomorrow.
Dice que acaba de hablar con Brandon ahorita para decirle que le llame mañana. Sí.
Thank you for coming.
Okay.
Any other public input? Thank you, Commissioner Shinoda, for helping them. Okay. For public input, do we need a motion to close?
No.
Okay, great. Well, I just see no other people coming for comment. Would anybody like to propose a motion?
Chair, I'll make a motion that we adopt ordinance 2020-5.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Hyatt, a second by Councilmember Lopez for proposed ordinance 2020-5. This is a roll call vote.
Councilmember Hyatt.
Aye.
Councilmember Lopez.
Aye.
Councilmember Stevens.
Aye.
Councilmember White.
Aye.
Councilmember Dodowski.
Aye.
Vice Chair Blair.
Aye.
Chair Chaburka.
I'm going to say no. And it still passes. I'm not sure how it impacts all that property and everything, so I'm not comfortable yet saying yes to that. Now we have time for public comment. This is an opportunity to address the council on any item, and we'd appreciate you stating your name and only speaking for 3 minutes. Welcome.
Hello, Angel Castillo. I wanted to talk to you today about some of the things that you directly control as a council with regards to setting law for our city, and that we're heading into a budget period, and basically everything costs money. So first and foremost, I wanted to piggyback on what I said at the last meeting with regards to encouraging you strongly to look at what is it going to take to give the planning department the resources that they need to update the general plan and code as it exists for affordable housing. And you had touched on in the work session that means smaller lot sizes, allowing smaller lot sizes, allowing smaller setbacks, allowing smaller actual building sizes, and possibly even going and entertaining tiny homes. And while that may be its own bailiwick, at least we have to allow developers to build smaller properties so that people can get into it in a more affordable situation. So I encourage you highly to reach out to the planning department and find out what they need. As Greg had stated during the work session, they haven't gotten around to it. Gotten around to it means that they don't have enough resources. What are the resources that they need to update that? We haven't had a general plan update in over 20 years. And we're going to get bit by that as we expand rapidly. And I'd rather us look at it as a city proactively as opposed to reactively. And then the second thing that I'd like you to really consider is predatory loans. Right now, when I had asked Greg how many we had, I was told between 13 and 15. But if you do a Google search, there are 25 listed in Ogden proper. One of those particular vendors offers a 299% APR. Utah state law says that the max you can charge without a contract is 10%. And this is how the predatory loans get around it. We have a contract. You sign it so they can charge you whatever you want. And $1,500 at 299% APR is $400 a month. And what we should take a stand as a city. We can actually prohibit them within our confines with a sunset clause, meaning that we are no longer going to allow things to happen. 10 years from now, we're not allowing predatory lending in Ogden. And what that does is it allows the existing businesses to move through their usage and continue business knowing that there is a stop date. If you really and truly care about the people in Ogden, especially the 30,000 people that live at or below poverty that are preyed on by these particular loans, I'd like you to take a stand as a council and say that you're not going to allow the citizens that you represent to be taken advantage of by predatory loans. And you can change that. It is your purview because you read the laws. Thank you.
Thank you.
Same size, Bart.
Yeah, same. I'm going to move that table. Then it'll be a wide lane.
Ralph Price, 636 6th Street. Did that for Bart. Be the same size though, Bart. Coming down the cut. But I just would like to say that I would like to see us, Ogden City and Weber County, to actually really do something this year towards being able to have businesses like Walmart and the Targets and all the main businesses. Like I want to commend Marshall White and Salt Lake City and what they're doing over there for the community and for the homeless. They've got so many different times that they have contributions that are coming from the different businesses that are over there that are mainline in this. Now, we have a great thing that's happening here. I was just tootling down the road after doing the Super Bowl thing, and I have Councilman Lopez walking home right there. Had a chance to have two people right before I saw him. He became my luck charm, and by the time I got to 12th, where he had just got dropped off, I had 13 more people I had a chance to be able to influence in life. Now, I only spent $2.25 that night, was able to help 17 people, 5 of them kids, be able to house and put in so that I've got Bike Till 6, I've got the Colonial, I've got these other ones like this, I've got Denny's, I've got the Wendy's, I've got they'll feed people. I go in there, I hold up $1 right there to buy this lady and a kid a drink, and when Denny's fed 5 other people right there. I want you to know that there is businesses out there that are contributing, and the budget for Agape is 0 right now because I didn't even have my Social Security check to have it on it. But spent $2.25, and we had 17 people we were able to help. We were able to house some people in this. If there was a discretionary fund, if there was some kind of humanitarian fund that was here, we've got 8 spots that I was just talking to Councilman Stevens here in the work session, and he had just talked about how the president out there said that the IT program out there at community college has that nobody's applying for these things. I got 9 people that are ready to apply for it. But let me tell you, they don't have the clothing to be able to go down to the school. They don't have the certain little things that just to start the process for the Pell Grants in this. But if I had a place that I could go ahead and I could get $50 to $80 to be able to make a difference in not only in this dad and mom's life, so they could be able to take care of the ID program. You just gave the great reward to it and everything. And they had the great young lady that came here was a star student. We got some people that can outdo her. But we got to get them down there. These people that have 0 money, they have 0 assets. It is when we get the chance for them to go down there in the schools that are not being used. Councilor Stevens just said something to me. I got 9 people ready to do it. I got 4 of them already that I've taken down out of my pocket. I signed them up for. I got 3 of them that are down there on 0 and everything. But we're going to see what we can do to get it through. We need some type of discretionary fund so we can take advantage of these programs that other people are willing to do, and the colleges are willing to do, and the tech schools are willing to do. You're giving out commendations and everything. Do some real work about it. Put together a discretionary fund that we can do those, and we can do the work like they're doing in Salt Lake City. Have these an encouragement for the Walmarts and everything out here in Weber County to do the same as they're doing over there. There's so many things that have been happening, and we can do them here. But you guys need to go ahead and give them some incentive to go ahead and help us.
Thank you, Ralph.
Thanks, Ralph.
Oh, and it's February Black Month. Make sure you have the community Black Month.
Okay, will do.
Same size, Bart.
Yeah,
It's because that cable's sticking out.
Fairly far, fairly.
Okay, I don't think there's anybody left in the audience, but
Eric?
so, Eric? Any comments from the mayor?
Sure, a couple quick things. Ralph, I certainly appreciate what you're doing and commend you for those efforts. Thank you for that. And we do have conversations about that. And then I just want to give a shout out to Ogden High. I had 2 of my kids that went through there, had amazing success there. It was great to see all that energy in the room, and huge props to that band director that went from 23 kids to, that probably wasn't representative of the whole team, but he's done an amazing job. That was really fun to see. So I appreciate you guys making that commendation, and huge props to them for what they're doing.
Anybody else?
Chair, if I can make a comment.
Please.
I just want to thank Councilmember Lopez for helping with translation tonight. It's more than just translation, it's serving others. To be able to listen and to communicate like that, and that's something that we wouldn't be able to do without you. But also for the rest of the council, Councilman Lopez's son is sparring tonight, and he doesn't get to be there because he's here with us. So it's a special sacrifice for you and your family. So thank you for doing that.
Every Tuesday he spars.
I know.
Of course.
I know.
It's the only day that he spars.
Any other comments?
Yeah, I have a quick comment.
Please.
So I live about 6 blocks away from Ogden High, and those kids are dedicated at 6:30 in the morning. Man, I don't know, the music travels quite far, so it's
loud.
They are very dedicated for sure, just out doing their work. And then another quick comment. I do appreciate Ralph's comments and hoping that we can have further conversations about homelessness and some of the things that hopefully we're doing in the legislature or might get done in the legislature as far as other options that are going on as far as why can't I think, moving the halfway houses and those kind of things. So bigger conversations to be had.
Comments?
I've got a comment. I am fully sympathetic with the age of our general plan. I was part of the general plan forming committee for the Involve Ogden general plan that's getting a little tired. And so you can rest assured that there are council members who are fully on board with seeing a refreshment of that document. I was also on the planning commission when we reviewed we called them payday lenders. That's predatory lending, and my understanding is all we can do is cap the number, and we capped it at a number far less than what we already had. And so we're just waiting for them to go away. But the problem is they don't go away on their own because they're too profitable for the owner. I don't know if there's anything else we can do. Certainly be open to looking at any legal remedy that we might have for that. It is something that ought to be discussed with regards to because I've been in a position to counsel with people who have gotten hooked into those things, and once you get in, it's very difficult to get out. And it can really seriously hamper your outlook on life going forward. Appreciate Ralph and all your good work that you do. I've got a $100 bill for you to do some good work. I know you do, and that's why I trust you with it. I do think we might not, at least I might not share the same view you do of what taxpayer funds that we are stewards of, how we should, there's a lot of good organizations, and it would be difficult for us to pick those winners and losers. That's where I struggle with this whole thing. So, but this is my personal money. It's not city money, and I hope that people will support you because you do good work. I think 100% of it's going to get to where it needs to be. So thank you for that good work. But anyway, that's all I have.
Chair, can I add a comment to Rich's? I want to thank you for your willingness to help Ralph. And I don't know if we've ever communicated it to Ralph as to why we can't create a fund to give to people like that. But I hope that we could at least think about what can we do, just like Councilmember Heyer's doing. You just ask yourself, I can't do that, but I can do this. And you pull that out of your pocket. So I hope we'll at least ask ourselves that question, because there are people that need help, and he is helping people every single day. But the help he's asking us for specifically isn't something we can do. But I would hope we could ask ourselves, what can we do? So.
I think I would just add on there, I think tonight a perfect example of things we can do to help enable people on a system that sometimes doesn't help to address individual needs. It's more about the system, is having the court at the homeless shelter so that we can help people access those kinds of services at the place they are, because they certainly would have a challenge coming to the court on a certain time of day and having clean clothes, like that kind of stuff. So I think as a city, there's things like that we can do that maybe take some effort and some resource, but isn't necessarily a donation of some sort too. Just think about how the system works as well. That's true. I also think, just as a note, we should probably have a translator here all the time, because we can't depend on the good graces of Councilmember Lopez. And if you had to miss because of sparring, we would not have been able to communicate with those folks that just showed up, right? Or if you had some other occasion, we wouldn't have been able to communicate tonight with those folks. And that's not okay in our community when we have a large percentage of people that speak Spanish and only Spanish. So I think that's something we should consider. We have translation services in one budget line, but I think we need to think about having somebody here for every council meeting if we want people to come and talk to us. I think it would be worth it. That's all I have to say. Would anybody like to motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. And ask if there's anybody.